AI agent is taking care of writing most of the code, right? What developers are required to do is build an ecosystem, make sure the architecture is correct, and give right direction to the agent so that it can generate exact code and generate things, the product that you expect it to generate. All right, now I'll share my screen and we'll go over how evolution has happened, and then we'll try to have some hands-on development as well. Uh, it will be very much amazing if you guys can also develop along with me once I showcase you the tools that I'm going to showcase. Okay, so in case you're joining from phone, preferably if you join from laptop, it will be useful for you so that you can follow along and do things along with me. Okay, sharing my screen right away. All right, let me just share the full screen itself. That should be fine. Okay, I just used some AI tool to create this presentation right 5 minutes back before this webinar because I wanted to showcase something on your screen while I am talking about things. Okay, now very first thing I want to talk about is the software evolution from code to AI. Back in the day, everything you had to write a code. Today, if you want to make a website, how much time do you need? What do you think? How much time do you need? Any guesses, guys? Today, if you want to make a website, just a plain front-end website, any guesses how much time would you need? Ping on the chat. I would love to hear out the opinion of the people. How much time do you think would need for someone to develop a basic static website? On the chat, guys. Just a minute. Okay, just few minutes. Okay. You can just ping on that everyone group. I'm not sure if everybody has the access to message over there. I think they do not have I, right? Dipali?
No, they
I
don't
don't
have
have.
them.
How will they talk to me then? Okay, fine. No problem. So I'll just assume that you are answering something. But back in the day, 5 to 10 years back, becoming and building a website used to be a biggest achievement, right? And then eventually, 5 years prior to that, and like 5 years back, when React came into the picture, uh, things became more simple, but still you had to have an understanding of setting up the React environment, setting up the Java framework, Spring Boot, all of those things. You have to set up the repos, create the complete end-to-end solution, and develop things from the scratch. That used to take at least a week or two, provided the developer is proficient. Today, it's not even needed. I mean, no, neither the time nor the developer. Both of these aspects are not needed anymore. Even if you don't have time or you don't have a developer, you can still create a website. There are a lot of AI tools. The biggest AI tool is Lovable AI and Cursor AI. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of this. Lovable AI and Cursor AI. These two tools gives you extreme proficiency in developing websites in 30 to 40 seconds. Okay, and that's the biggest evolution we are seeing. You don't need to be a developer. You don't need to be a coder. You don't need to understand a single line of code in order to develop something. Okay. So that is the shift that we are seeing. Now, if I just showcase you, okay, why is it not doing? Yeah. If I just tell you what is going to be the agenda for today, the very first thing that we are going to discuss today is what was the evolution of the software. We are right now in 2.0. 1.0 was mostly around C++ and core programming and stuff. We'll discuss around that. But the first agenda that we are going to discuss is going to be around software evolution overview. Next, we are going to discuss about LLMs as computers, large language models. What are they? What are their capabilities? What is something you can leverage? Third thing, I'm going to show you some live demonstrations to showcase you the power of agentic AI in both front-end aspect and the back-end aspect. And the fourth point is future workflows. What is something you can do today? What is something you should do today in order to make sure that you are secure in terms of being relevant in future and making sure that you are someone who is updated along with the latest tech stacks. Okay. All right. Now, very first thing, software evolutions. The very first software 1.0 was a traditional programming with explicit instructions written by human developers like languages in Java, right? We have seen times where in order to develop something, I'm not sure about the age groups I'm speaking to, but at least I have seen time when I started off, it was all on the code level. There was nothing expected from a developer apart from coding, whether it is backend, front end, DevOps, cloud, whatever. You have to make sure that you understand the inner logic to the core and you develop things accordingly. Software 2.0, neural networks and machine learning came in, right? Where the behavior is driven by learned weights rather than code. You were still writing code, but a lot of places, machine learning and neural networks were taking care of most of your heavy lifting as well. There was some AI already into the picture where you, there was some AI in the picture where people were able to understand and use AI to drive few things. Like, even though before ChatGPT and this large language models came, we do had AI. AI was there in most of the aspects. For example, even in your phone, Alexa, Siri, and all this Google Mini and stuff. These all already had the AI, right? These were driven by neural networks and machine learning models. These were not driven by LLMs. But now we are in software 3.0. AI driven development using natural language prompts to generate and modify code automatically. You don't need to be a developer. You don't need to understand how to write a print statement in Java. Or you don't need to know how to write a if statement is in Python. Probably 10 years down the line, these might even get extinct from the curriculum. That nobody needs to know what is Python, what is Java. Just give a prompt to the system. The system figures out what is something, the best possible scenario, and what best possible language for this particular use case, and the system will pick that language and develop it for you. For example, if I'm building something around, let's suppose I want to build an extension for, let's say, Google Chrome. An extension, I hope you all are know what is an extension. Uh, Google Chrome is built heavily on Java as a backend and React as a framework. So probably it will pick those as a language, right? But if suppose I'm trying to build something, a new trendy website, which is very proficient and very fast, probably I'll use Next.js or Nest.js, right? In the website. And that is something I don't have to do it. The system will decide. The system will decide according to our requirement. So that is the era we are moving towards. We are no longer required to learn in theoretical aspects or syntactical aspect the languages to develop something. But let me clear over here. This is for developing. You don't need to understand, don't need to go inside the code thoroughly. But if you want to switch a company, if you're trying to grow in a company, the company will still ask you these questions, because right now we don't have a mechanism to test anyone's rigor or anyone's logic building abilities or problem solving skills. So as someone who have been interviewing for Microsoft and my colleagues who are interviewing for Google and Amazon, we still test the student on languages like DSA. We still want them to code in front of us, solve questions, run the algorithms, and explain it to us, right? Because that's the way we are figuring out that is the person has the logic building abilities or problem solving skills or not, right? But once they enter the company, they probably will never code. 2 years, I have never coded, not a single line, right? Because most of the heavy lifting is being done by no code platforms and coding platforms. So this is the software evolution that we have seen. We need to go from 2.0 to 3.0. The earlier you realize, the better first mover advantage you'll get, right? That is the whole point of having this webinar and letting everybody know what is something it takes for you to go from 2.0 to 3.0. Yes. So next is, now if I talk specifically for Java developers, because I was asked that, I was told that most of the people over here are from Java background. Now, there has been a traditional way of learning. Before I explain the PPT, I just want to talk about a few things before I jump on the content. There has been a traditional way of learning and traditional way of developing. And there is a modern way of learning and modern way of developing. Okay. These two aspects you need to be very clear about. Modern way of learning is very different than traditional way of learning or traditional way of working. It is as same as you are given a requirement. Generally, any developer nowadays would try to find an agentic AI approach to develop something rather than jumping on the code directly. Okay, that is a modern way of developing. So if you see, traditionally we had certain challenges. Writing boilerplate code for Spring configurations and entities, all the repository setup, file creations, making sure it is up and running, free of errors, all of those things had to be done by the developer. Second, manual testing and documentation creation process. What if you have written something? And as a developer, I'm not sure how many of you are developer, but if you're a developer, you will be able to understand me. It's the most boring task to create test cases for the feature you have coded. Let's suppose I have developed a feature. The feature is working perfectly, but now I have to write a unit test cases for that. So that down the line, if any other developer makes any change, something should not break in my feature. So this test cases will be running every time someone is pushing the code, and it will be a validating. It will validating. It will be validating if my code or my feature is not affected. That was a manual testing part. Second is documentation. Every developer in any company I have met hates writing documentations. How you have created the code, what is the architecture, how you can modify it. All of these textual documentation, if a developer has to write, they don't feel excited about it. Now, these two things are being taken care by AI powered anyways. This was a traditional challenge which is no longer existing. Similarly, complex microservice orchestration and debugging across distributed systems. You know what happens now when we get an error? We ask agentic AI or the model that we have embedded in our code editor to find the error and fix it. And we go for a coffee. This was used to be a dream for developers who were like 5 years back, 6 years back. Debugging an error, finding out where the mistake was a nightmare. Now, AI powered approaches themselves are able to find the errors. They are not even looking for a human prompt that asks them that find the error. They are themselves being proactive to find the error and fix them, right? So this has been the change, and that is why it matters a lot, not just for the Java developer, but for any developer as such. But I've just kept it Java because few aspects I wanted to focus majorly on Java. Okay. And if I see the AI powered solution, auto generates the Spring Boot configuration. It assists the test generation and intelligent documentation. And also it has autonomous microservice monitoring and optimization tools. Okay. All right. Now, these three things we are going to discuss right now, and I'm going to show you exactly how to code in these three things. I mean, how to code as in how to use, because coding is no longer required anymore. Cursor AI, Claude AI, vibe coding. Anybody who can guess what is vibe coding? I mean, vibe is a very Gen Z word, I know. So what do you think vibe coding is? It's a very interesting aspect. Vibe coding is very, very new in the market. And I would just like to spend some time to talk about the vibe coding because that is going to be a trend in the future. Code with AI. Okay. Okay. What else? Anyone else? What is vibe coding? Prompt based coding. Okay. But why the vibe is there? Vibe word is there. Vibe has been a very different vibe has been a word that has been used in a very different context rather than tech, right? Like our vibe did not match, hence it did not go further, something like that. That was a time when we used to use vibe. Okay. Vibe means you waiting for agent to generate code and chill. Okay. Okay, interesting answer. Letting AI code for you and debugging, which is hassle free. Okay, you can make any app. Okay, makes sense. Any other answer, guys, before I talk about the vibe coding? Okay, before I tell you what is vibe coding, let me give you an analogy. Okay, let's imagine 10 years back, or let's say 5 years back, you want a website to get developed, and you tell the developer exactly how you want to develop the website. Okay, now will you be telling the developer that develop some website around e-commerce? Or will you be telling the developer exactly what you want to do, how you want to be doing done, and that's how developer will be exactly following it? The traditional way of development was exactly that. We had something called program managers. Program managers used to sit between the businesses and developers. Program managers used to exactly get the requirement, and probably with a Figma design. How many of you know what's Figma design? Figma design? You guys are aware of what is Figma design? Figma design basically designs is a UI UX thing which people actually design before developing the actual product. Prototyping. Very correct, Gibran. Now, this was a traditional way where you have to exactly understand what is something you want to get developed, look at the prototype or a Figma design, and then give it to developer that now develop exactly like this. I want something exactly like this. Even the color code should match with the design, the margin, padding, everything should be exactly the same. But that is something has changed. Vibe coding basically means I don't exactly know what needs to be developed, but I want a website that can probably act like a e-commerce thing where people can sell their probably used stuffs. But I want to focus more majorly on books. Now, if you this is a vibe, right? You don't have an exact requirement. It's just a vibe you have that this is something I want to develop. Agentic AI will be able to suggest you things, design things exactly what your requirement, and keep it in line with the vibe that you have for it. That is what we call it as vibe coding. You don't need to tell exactly what needs to be developed. And I'll show you the exact example while showcasing the demo as well. What is exactly vibe coding? Okay, using Cursor AI and Claude AI. So this is what vibe coding has made the intent driven development. My intent is to develop something around XYZ, and then agentic AI will take care of that for the same. All right. Okay. Now coming to the no code demo. Now, as I mentioned, anybody who is joining from laptop, feel free to code along with me. I mean, it's not going to be a code. It's going to be a fun activity for you because we'll be developing something within minutes without writing a single line of code. And for this demo, I will act like someone who is not a developer. Okay, who doesn't know coding, who doesn't even understand anything. So anybody in this call who has never coded, who has never written a single line of code, will still be able to make justice to it and will still be able to create something. Okay, very first thing is you need to set up Cursor AI, and set up in the sense you just have to download Cursor AI. Okay, so if I just say Cursor AI, you get this Cursor AI option over here. If you just say Cursor AI download, it's already downloaded in my system, but just for someone who wants to develop along with me, Cursor AI download will take you to this particular screen where it will automatically detect where you are on Mac, Windows, or whatever. You can just click on this, it will download it for you. It is as same as any code editor. Most of you might have used Visual Studio Code if you're a developer, Sublime Text probably if you are an old developer, or if you are not a developer, probably Notepad or these things you must have used, right? So imagine Notepad is a writing software. Visual Studio Code or Cursor AI is a coding software. Instead of writing text, you write code over here. That's all it is. Okay. Now, once you install Cursor AI will look something like this. Okay, this is Cursor AI. It's like a black color plain window. Recent projects will be empty for you because probably you installed it right now. But interestingly, top right, if you can see, my screen is clear, right? I hope it's everything is visible. Top
Yes.
right. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Dipali. Top right, if you see, there are three squares. Okay. First square talks about toggle AI pane. If I click on that, I get a toggle window. I can click on create a new chat and I will find a new chat window coming over here. Okay. Next, I can see a toggle panel. When I click on toggle panel, I get a below segment which says terminal, debug console, problems, and all that stuff. And if I click on the third one, toggle primary sidebar, I get a sidebar which is kind of options for me to open folder, clone repository, or open remote repository. Okay, all of those things I get as on my screen, right? Now what I need to do is I need to just open or create a folder, an empty folder. So let's suppose I'll go to the folder, go to open a folder, and probably I'll go to my desktop. Desktop is quite messy, yes, by the way, but yes, let me see. And I think I created a test folder, which is okay, which is not empty. So let's do one thing. Let me go to the desktop. Let me clear that test folder completely first. Okay. So the test folder is over here. What I'll do is I'll just delete everything from here. Okay, now it's empty. It is as same as I created a new folder called test on desktop. Now I come back here, I open a new folder and I go to the desktop and I go to an empty folder. It's an empty folder. There is no code into it, right? I just opened that folder into it. As soon as I open the folder, it will take some time to open it up, and here you go. You have an empty folder over here. In case you still see something, you can just delete it so that it becomes completely empty. Okay, so this is a test folder which is empty. And you have other aspect as well. I have a test folder created over here. Now what I need to do is I can just write anything that I want to create and it will create it for me. Okay. For example, I can just tell over here on the chat that, again, going by the vibe coding, I can just say create something around e-commerce, or maybe create a basic static website that can help me to showcase The products I have around whatever, pick anything, apparel, let's say, right? So I would just say create a basic website that can help me to showcase a basic apparel or basic, let's say it should not, we'll try to keep it as simple as possible. That could show me, help me to showcase my clothing products, let's suppose. Okay, let's suppose I'm someone who's trying to sell clothing products online. So I am saying create a basic website that can help me to showcase my clothing products. That's it. As soon as I hit enter, okay, it will start creating things by itself. And the best part is, I am assuming like someone who does not understand code, right? So I wrote the statement in very plain English. Everything else is being done by the system. So if you see over here, it is saying, I'll help you create a basic website to showcase your clothing products. Let me start by exploring current workspace and then create a modern, responsive clothing showcase website. It's automatically doing it. It is saying, I will create a modern clothing website with a clean professional design. Let me start creating basic structure and then build out the components. Now, whatever is the component, whatever is the AI is trying to do, whatever code is being generated, you don't have to worry about that, because I am someone who is a non-coder, just behaving to be like that, so that anybody can code is something I want to portray. Now, if I go, the test folder was empty, but now I see a lot of code is coming in. All of these code. Okay, my laptop is getting slow because the AI is running. All of these code that you see, if a developer had to write these code, they must have taken good amount of time, right? Syntactical free, bug free. The every single line of code is amazingly written, following all the standards, right? Package.json and all that. I mean, as a developer, you might not even be aware, or you don't have to be, but all of these codes are being written. And my laptop is draining out of the battery. Just give me a second, I'll get the charger. Okay, 1 second. Okay, right. So over here, as you can see, the code is being generated without we having to do anything at all. Okay. Now, the best part is, whenever the code is getting generated, and if there is a problem in the code, if there is an error in the code, automatically AI will understand that what is the error in that code, and automatically it will fix it. You don't even have to find the error, look for the error, or do anything with that error. Automatically it will do it, automatically it will fix it, and you don't have to, you just have to sit and see the show, right? It's more like a movie which is just running, and then you'll be coming up with the end products within 3 to 4 minutes of the time. And it's there for anyone who doesn't even understand code, and doesn't even understand what is all about agentic AI development. Okay. Now over here, you see the files which is getting created and the number of code that each file had. So 22 lines of code, 10 lines of code, 25, 42, 101, 29. How much time is it taking? It's taking hardly any time. Within seconds, it's happening, right? Three things because of which AI has been surpassing all the developer is, number one, if yesterday something would have been launched, for example, yesterday a new tech stack got launched that can help you to probably integrate front end and back end in the same repository, or probably integrate SQL with Python seamlessly, whatever it is. If a human developer has to utilize that new upgrade or new technology, a human has to learn it, right? A human has to upgrade himself, upskill himself, whatever. But AI, since AI has the access to all the web content, automatically AI will start using those concepts the very moment it was launched or developed. There is no upskilling required for AI. It's already upskilling itself every time. Second thing, AI has the access to all the code repositories which are publicly available across the world. So whatever code that you see over here, which is being generated, is being generated with the best of the best coding standards and quality. So you cannot question the quality of these code because it is being generated according to what has been the latest trend and what has been the finest quality of the code. Also, how many times you have experienced a situation where you see a website which is rendering good in a laptop, but on mobile it is breaking as in you are not able to use it properly. Huh? IRCTC maybe, right? Laptop, it works well. Okay, first of all, it doesn't work at all, but at times when it works well, on laptop, it does good, but on phone, it creates problem a lot of time, right? AI, which AI generates the code, makes sure any screen size, it does not get affected or does not takes care of it takes care of all the screen sizes. All right, so I'll just take care of the questions which people are putting on the chat. Okay, where is the question went? Okay. Hello, everyone. This is automated message. Okay, sorry. Is this paid? What is paid? Oh, Cursor AI. It is freemium. Freemium as in you will be able to use it for certain amount of time. But if you are extensively using it, if you're trying to build a whole company just by using Cursor AI, definitely they will start charging you. Okay. Tam has a question. Cursor is asking a remote LLM, right? How it slows down your system. Okay, it slows down my system because Cursor product is sitting on my local. When the code generation is happening, it is generating the code and writing on my local device. That's the reason it is slowing it down. It is using the remote LLM, but generation is happening on my system. And are you using Pro version? Yeah, I was using Pro version, but right now it is expired. Okay, Anston has a question. Have you experienced a limit to the capabilities of agentic AI to work on huge Microsoft projects? Is there a common way approach to use AI on huge products? Very good question. I love these kind of questions coming in. Absolutely, there has always been a limitation in what AI can do. But before I talk about that, let me showcase the code that we just generated while we were speaking. Right? It got generated, and I think it got rendered as well somewhere or the other. Yeah, over here. Look at that. Now, I wouldn't say it is something which is amazing and it's something you can just make it live, but it's definitely worth creating something when we were having an interaction, right? It named our website as Fashion Showcase, not a creative name, but definitely we can change anytime and ask AI to do it. Now it has created buttons, shop now, view collection. Okay. Collection, it automatically put. Now look at this. We never asked that we want a denim jeans, summer dress, or classic white t-shirt. It did it automatically all by itself, right? It added skirt, but skirt doesn't look like a skirt. So of course, AI is a limitation that answers the question of the person who was asking right now. Yeah, these kind of limitations we might see, but yeah, we have to intervene and correct these particular parts. But all I'm trying to say is, you get something right away within seconds, within minutes in your system, and it's a functional website. It's not a static one. You see, they see that interactions are there. If I hover, there is a movement happening. If I click on tops, I can get all on the tops. I can see bottoms. I can click the bottoms. Dresses, I'll get the dresses. Okay. If I say add to cart, it gets added to the cart. I can go to the cart. I can probably integrate my payment gateway and do things. It has a smooth scroll, contact us, and all of those aspects is already triggered. The best part is now, since we have this, we can alter it in a different way, whatever we want to. In the same way, we can just say, probably add a product description page. Okay. Because right now, I don't think people buy this way, right? People generally look for, multiple angles, photographs, size matters in the clothing part, the color options they might look for, delivery date and all that stuff, right? So we can just say add product description page that can give info around, and you can write anything and everything. Okay. Sizes, delivery date, what else? Color options. What else do you do when you try to buy it? Multiple images and ratings, the ratings of feedback, right? Now, if I do this, It will start generating things on top of it. So right now I'm just speaking to you and writing on the call. It was not planned at all. Now once you plan it, once you figure out how you want to do it, and you write exactly the prompt in a similar way, AI will be able to give you much better responses, right? While it is being generated, I'll take some more questions. This is incredible. Of course it is. Okay. I'll scroll up to see where did I see the question last. So I'll tell you Anton has asked experience limitation of capabilities of AI agents. Now, AI agents, the biggest limitation is you need to prompt them and give them a direction, right? Especially in the huge AI projects, it's not in the Microsoft products. If I talk about, it's not just about creating websites. It's not just about creating products. It's about a lot of things. Integration with n number of systems, microservices, backend system, different data sources, different company data sources. It's a complex architecture. So over there, human intervention is required to component wise let AI agent do the work, because as an AI agent, they cannot do all the things and understand the whole architecture by itself as of now. So architecture information, system design creations, all of these things, AI agent can suggest, but they cannot develop as of now. Okay. Aditya Mathur has mentioned, can you give me any advice on how to apply off-campus jobs? Okay. Once we complete this part, we'll come to that part as well. The code from repo shared with Cursor AI, is it used for further training? The code from the repo shared with Cursor AI. Shivangi, can you repeat your question? The code from the repo shared with Cursor AI. So, okay, I'll answer you in this part. Whatever repository is present in the online medium, the GitHub Copilot or every repository on GitHub is used by Cursor AI to learn. But whatever code you are generating right now, since it is not in the remote repository, it is not existing remotely, it is not being used for the training. With the same prompt as you, from my side, it generates only 4 files. Strange. Okay. Even I, if I try the same prompt, it will again try to generate something different as well. What you can do is, Tam, say, develop a professional website for showcasing my clothing brand. Use something like that. Do not use the word basic. When you use the word basic, it might generate only HTML, CSS, JavaScript file for you, right? Try to just write that, create a full-fledged website, or better, write, create a React website. React is a framework actually. Create a React website for showcasing your clothing brands and stuff. Yeah, Gibran. I think that, Gibran, you're right. Free trial might be creating that thing. Can Cursor AI add external forms and stuff in the website that is requirement? Yes, absolutely. But those external forms you have to mention in the prompt. Okay. All right. Shivangi has again a question. What if your company doesn't want existing code to be used for training by Cursor AI? Can it still be used to generate code for you? No. If your company has limited the use of Cursor AI, you cannot use Cursor AI. But Cursor AI is one of the tools, right? There will be n number of tools. GitHub Copilot is being used by most of the companies because it has been coming as an extension in Visual Studio Code. And same way you can develop things using GitHub Copilot as well. What's the key difference between Cursor AI and Vercel? Cursor AI is a tool. Cursor is a tool, Gibran. Vercel is a deployment platform, is what I know. But it could be the case that Vercel might have also been evolved to be something like Cursor. So there will be n number of tools in your platter, always. Whatever works for you, you can pick it. Just like we had n number of languages, right? C, C++, Java, Python, whatever, JavaScript. In the end, logic is same. The syntax is different. Same way. AI tools, the UI might be different. In the background, LLMs are going to generate the code for you and stuff. Okay. Lot of questions, huh? All right. I'll buckle up and answer them all. Garv has question. Vibe coding is good for building a prototype, but it's not still code for scalability and optimization approaches and working with thousands of data records. Yes. Vibe coding is only for building something that you're trying to be a prototype or you're trying to start small as a startup. But once you start developing things for your company, the prompt has to be very elongated and a very proper so that it can be used for aspects as well. Okay, Niroshan has a question. Is the narrow, I think Vercel and Cursor AI, I already answered, Azim. Niroshan has a question. Is this narrow AI? Am I right? Narrow? No, Cursor AI it is. Can we use Cursor AI in Ubuntu? Any ways to configure it for Ubuntu? It should be possible. Yeah, it should be possible. Try it out. I have never tried on Ubuntu, but I would prefer to you to check that part. Okay, Sirisha's question is, using Cursor AI in company projects, did it expose sensitive information? No, it will not expose sensitive information, but company would, if the information is always sensitive, I would not recommend it to use Cursor AI, because always, although the data transfer is happening one way, but you never know. Okay, so don't take it risk. Preferably use GitHub Copilot if you're using it for company. Will you provide certificate in this session? I'm not sure about that. Someone from Board and Infinity team should answer that. Can we host a website for free? Yes. I think Vercel is one of the platform where you can host the website for free. Is creating website with AI are secure from hackers? Yes. Mostly it's secure for hackers, but again, hackers are also evolving. Hackers are also using AI, right? So both the sites are using AI, so you have to be very vigilant on those areas as well. Is Cursor AI capable of creating whole one application? Absolutely yes, Azim. Absolutely yes. I have created that by myself as well. Gayatri, for someone who's learning Java backend, targeting fresher jobs, should they focus on learning the traditional way like Spring, manual testing, writing boilerplate, code themselves, understanding configuration, or rely on AI tested tools? Okay. Traditional way of coding is still required, because if you're trying to join a company, as I had mentioned, they will still question you on the coding. They will still make you write the code. Okay. You need to learn the coding. You need to learn the understanding, maybe not very deep as before, but you have to learn that. And then in parallel, rely on and learn about AI assisted tools as well. Does it only generate React framework or any other framework? It can generate any framework. I'll show you to how to generate Spring Boot framework as well. It's any, you name a language, it will develop it. Even it can generate code from obsolete languages as well, like PHP and stuff. Okay, all right. So our prompt is complete. We will go back to the website again and we'll see what it generated. Okay, so we'll just refresh it. I think it's already refreshed. Awesome. So we'll click on. Now you see view details section got added. While we were speaking and answering questions, we didn't even have to see the code. I can click on view details. Look at this. Whatever you had asked for, it is there. Of course, this jeans looks like AI generated, of course, but I can see the colors. I can select the color over here. I can select the size. I can select the quantity. I can see the delivery information, and I can see add to cart information as well, right? Depending upon the quantity, the price will also change, right? I can see customer reviews as well. Imagine creating all these. How long do you think would you take to create something like Amazon now? Probably a day or two. Yeah. Okay. Product you can create, platform and company, something big thing. But yes, this is something can be generated. And the best part is even someone who is a non-developer, right? For example, I believe Dipali, you're a non-developer, right? Even you should be able to understand. So
Yes.
that's the beauty of it. Anybody who is a non-developer as well, he'll be able to understand and create code without having to understand whatever is required and however it is required. Now, someone had a question like, does it only generate React based code, or does it only generate something that you can only see from a UI perspective? Let me do one thing. Whatever code we generated, let me delete all that. Okay. Let me just go and delete everything and we'll start afresh for a different tech stack altogether. Okay, a lot of questions are coming, I guess. Okay, I'll answer all the questions, guys. I'll just showcase this part and then we'll probably keep the Q&A for a good amount of time. I'll delete everything from here and it is all gone. And I will clear the chat as well. Okay. All right. Now what I want to do is, let's suppose I want to build a Java backend framework. I will not even say that I'm gonna be building a Spring Boot, Hibernate or whatever. I will just say I want to build a Java backend system that can expose APIs for for online calculation. Let's suppose someone is trying to build an online calculator where front end is whatever and the back end is on Java. Request comes to Java for online calculation and request goes back from the backend. Okay, so I'll just say create a backend application on Java that can uh, expose, or that can be used. I'll not use technical terms at all. That can be used for an online calculator. Okay. Create a backend application on Java that can be used for an online calculator. Over here, I'm using only one technical term, backend, right? So front end, back end, only till that extent, if you're understanding, you should be able to use the thing as well. And that's it. I'll just click on enter. It starts immediately by saying Java Spring Boot. Did we talk about Java Spring Boot? No, it automatically understood that it'll create a complete Java Spring Boot backend application for online calculator. And this will include RESTful APIs, numerous mathematical applications, proper error handling, and a clean project structure, right? Everything is going to do by itself. So if you see the source file, it already started creating the whole structure altogether, right? Now you can use all of the exposed APIs for whatever reason you have, or whatever thing you want to do. Okay. It asking me to install the extension as well. Extension by Java extension. I can actually click on install, but yeah, let it be for now. Okay. So this is the way it generates. Now it is generating all the things by itself. A lot of time we struggle in writing clean code, right? Where to write the constructor, where to, default constructor with parameters. Do you think we need to know all that? We don't need to. And trust me, I have not even used Java as a backend since a very long time. So I'm not even able to understand properly what is it generating, right? But I don't care because it will do the job. But in the company, when you're working, you should be able to understand all the code, because if you understand the code and then use AI, you will be able to do a much better job as compared to if you are only generating code and you're not able to understand a single line of code, right? So all of those aspects becomes very essential, and hence coding is not going to be a replacement. AI is not going to replace the code. AI is going to complement your coding skills. AI is going to be your partner, right? For a technical partner, right? That's a new word. You can just think it off like that. All right, so I'll just take all the questions as well. A lot of questions actually. What's the difference between prompt engineer and context engineer? Prompt engineer is someone who can write proper prompts that AI can understand and deliver exactly what you expect the AI to develop. Context engineer is something, a new term I'm hearing right now, so I don't know what it is. But if I guess it, context engineer could be something, if you have heard it somewhere in this context engineer is something which is, there is two type of prompt: system prompt and the prompt that you put every time. System prompt is something that sets the context. For example, I tell ChatGPT that behave like my CA. You have to act like my CA. That's a system prompt I give. And then whatever questions if I ask, it will try to relate with the financial decisions and give it to me. So that's the difference between prompt engineer and context engineer. Nadir has a question. Won't this create more unemployment as companies won't need developers if they have this AI agent? Absolutely. But it will not create unemployment. It will create problems for the people who are not upskilling themselves in AI, right? Expectations from developer will change. Developer will not get replaced. Me as a developer will not be required to write code, but I will be required to manage AI agents. So expectations will change, not the people. So AI will not take your jobs. People using AI will take your jobs. Fresher should use cursor AI. Okay, fresher should use cursor AI if I'm still learning. Yes. Once you learn, let's suppose you learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you know how to code, use cursor AI to do the same thing. Sir, do we still need opportunities in a Okay. Aditya has a question. Sir, do we still have good opportunities in Java backend? Yeah, absolutely. There are, tech is evolving. There are opportunities. It's just that how good you are, depending upon that, you'll get the things. Also tell us drawback of AI, otherwise we will stop learning. Don't stop learning, because even if using AI, you have to understand the code. That's where you'll be able to do a better programmer. That's where you'll be able to be a better developer. AI is just complementing you. It's not replacing you. Need recording. I think you will receive the recording. I have experienced this thing that while using free at a trial of Vercel, when we are done with the development and when we try to host it, if it is free version, it changes the code, or there are many bugs in which it takes good time to be resolved. Is it the same with Cursor 2? I have not faced that, Gibran. Probably we will have to discuss it outside the session, but I shouldn't think this should be a problem. We'll have to check it. Are these content static? No, you can make it dynamic as well. Okay, if you please provide the recording of this meeting, I think you will get the recording. I'm working in Python and ML. Should I learn React front-end technology to get a better job? focus on one thing, be a master of one, and then become jack of all trades. So that's my suggestion to you, Harshal. Okay, there are a lot of questions, guys. I would love to take all of them, but we are slightly limited on time. Okay, so just to make sure that we are not deviating from the topic, in case you have more questions, right, feel free to text me over there. But yeah, we'll continue with the session. I've just posted my LinkedIn profile link anyway as well. Okay, so we'll go ahead with, where did the PPT go? Okay, did I close it? Okay, it's here. Awesome. So right now we learned the power of agentic AI and no code development, that you can create things, develop things without writing a single line of code, right? But as most of you asked the question, what is something you can leverage it for? Now, two main aspects that you can leverage it for is, first is, of course, writing complete code by yourself, which I mentioned. Spring Boot generation generates complete Spring Boot backend application using natural language. All of the code generation can happen by itself. Iterative refinement. The best part is if something gets broken, right? Or you fuck up, you mess up something, right? Sorry for that word. You mess up something, then automatically AI will take care of making it upright, making it code free or error free. You don't have to explicitly mention it to solve something, right? So that is the power of Java agents, and that is the power of how you can use it for your own benefit. Okay. Few stats I would like to showcase to you. Current pitfalls, migration strategies, and quality assurance. Now, almost 30% of the code that you see on the internet right now are AI generated already. Okay, which is 1/3 of the code. More than almost 80% developers who are working have already been using the agentic AI and stuff. Okay. Autonomous PRs. I'm not sure how many of you know PR, but if you're a developer, you know PR, pull request. I cannot explain pull request right now, but if you know, you know. Okay. PR has the number of autonomous PR, as in PR generated by the AI agent, is almost 500,000 now. 5x increase in the speed. And current pitfalls, there sometimes you see hallucination in the code, right? Just now we saw the AI generated code was calling a photograph of a skirt, but it was not a skirt. Just an example, right? Hallucination is there. Migration strategy, if there are a lot of code written by human, it might take some time for AI to understand. So it might be a migration from human to AI, might be a different thing stuff as well. Quality assurance, if you are using your own method of measuring a quality, it might take some time for your AI to understand what is the quality you are trying to meet, and performance as well. Okay, so these are the few things I wanted to showcase to you. But having said that, uh, there are still the opportunities that will open up irrespective of you using AI or not, which is managing AI agents, training AI agents, prompt engineering, performance monetizations, all of those things will still be a role of a developer. It's just that the coding aspect has been taken away from the developer, right? Three things I would suggest you, and three things you can follow to make sure that you are up to date with the software 3.0 infrastructure as well. Make sure you understand LLM properly. Make sure you understand the power of the AI, the capabilities of LLM, like documentation strategies, API designs, and Java ecosystem, and create something. Try to create something by your own. Even if you're a developer, non-developer, doesn't matter. Try to have something, try to create something that can make a better impact and that can help you to be a better developer eventually as well. And this is the last slide I want to talk about. AI is not replacing developers. Okay. It's giving them an Iron Man suit. Okay. So while having coffee, while having interaction with people, developers can develop products. Right. And future belongs to developers who can fluently operate across three verticals. First is writing code only when it is needed, not writing code because you love coding, right? Write code only when it is needed, understanding AI models, and orchestrating intelligent systems through natural language. Okay. With that, I would just open for any Q&As that anybody has, and I would love to take up all the questions. I'll try my best to put up all the questions as well, but just so that people have missed to ask any questions, or in case I missed any questions, I'll re-put my handles as well. Feel free to reach out over there. This is my LinkedIn, and a lot of time when I take sessions from college, they prefer to text me on Instagram as well. So nowadays I post both of them, LinkedIn and Insta. Reach me out on any place. But going through the questions, I would just go through the questions. Uh, can you explain more about responsible for, can you explain more about the responsible for developer with your experience? What do you do mostly in working environment? Okay, Niroshan. As a developer, my requirement and trend has always altered and changed, right? In the beginning, okay, constantly I'm getting follow requests. It's disturbing me now on the watch. I think I posted my link. I'll just take it off. Yeah. So, my requirements have always altered since last 8 years to this day. In the initial days, it was all about code, writing, testing, debugging, scalability, performance, everything. Now it is more on writing right orchestrator prompts, picking up right AI models, and making sure it is able to do things what we want it to, right? Copilot Studio is one of the platform. If you want to know where I work, Copilot Studio, Microsoft Copilot Studio is a platform which we are using to develop copilots. It is open for everyone to explore as well. It's different than agentic AI. It is using a lot of other models as well, but you can create your own products, own copilots from that studio, Microsoft Copilot Studio. So that is the answer I wanted to give to Niroshan. Next, Yusufi has a question. If coding is not a requirement of getting jobs, then you say that coding will be replaced? No. As I mentioned before, for getting the job, you are still going to be tested on the coding. You are still going to be tested completely on your skills of coding, right? After you have entered the job market, or if you have entered the company, in that you might not code, or depending upon the company, right? But mostly people are using agentic AIs inside it. Why AI is still figuring out to go for scalability? Code is best for client side website, but it is not still, but why it's still not good or sometimes fails when we talk about using it for thousands of users at a time? Now, Garv, the simplest answer is Hotstar. We must have heard, right? Hotstar, when cricket match goes, and especially when MS Dhoni is batting, we 6 crore people watches the platform at the same time. Now, AI cannot develop that platform like that. You need human intervention. You need the smartness of people over there to understand how we can tackle the problem of 6 crore people watching at the same time in a cricket match. So that is the scalability limitation AI has, but the limitation is today. Maybe 1 year, after 1 year, if you're having still the webinar, the concept of webinar might change completely. We might say AI is able to do everything and the concept is completely changed. So the power of a developer has to be relying in making yourself upgraded every time. But currently, yes, that's a limitation, and hence human intervention is required in those aspects. Sir, please give some suggestions like technologies to learn for better opportunities. First thing I would say, learn a code, any language, C, C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, whatever. Learn a language to code, have a logic building abilities, problem solving skills, and make sure you're able to do that. Okay, that's the first suggestion I would make. Second is try to complement your programming skills with something, probably MERN stack, data science, blockchain, cybersecurity, whatever, so that your DSA skill sets or logic building abilities, problem solving skill sets gets complemented with something. Okay, and after that, make sure whatever you have learned, look at the AI tools, how you can automate everything, right? So that down the line, you should not be surprised at whatever I learned AI is already doing. You should be always be up in the game. So that is the suggestion I would give you, Aditya. Okay, lot many questions. Nikosi has a question. That was incredible demonstration. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much. For a fresher, what is the best backend language I'm interested in? Start with Java or .NET. Yeah, you're interested in .NET, go ahead with that. Not a problem. What's the best tech stack for SDE jobs? For SDE jobs, focus on DSA. Logic building abilities and problem solving skills will be building from that. Pick any language, focus on DSA. It's really important to learn prompt engineering to save time while developing. So can you please suggest where can we groom such skills? The web is filled with courses like that, free courses. You don't have to pay anything to anyone. Everything is free out there, right? Go there, write prompt engineering. You'll find n number of things. Try out, try and test. If you work something is working, go ahead with that. If you see that something is not working, switch it. Just explore. Explore with enthusiasm. Mustaka has a question. I work as C Sharp developer. From your experience, C Sharp developer to AI engineer, what would you suggest? Do you think shifting to becoming AI engineer is good? Okay, there is no AI engineer as such. Just to clear that out. AI is complementing all the engineers, right? So now it is going to be a trend that whether you're a C Sharp developer, Python developer, Java developer, AI has to be there in you. AI skill sets has to be there in you, right? So if you're a C Sharp developer, make sure you try to look for tools that can do all the jobs that you're doing with AI. Okay, all right. So I think we are good to go. Rest of the questions probably I'll take up. You can just, I think I dropped my handles as well. Just feel free to text me or reach out me on that front as well. Okay, both the handles I have put up over there in the chat. In case someone missed, I put up again. Thank you so much for giving me your time, guys. I hope I was able to bring some clarity or some information around agentic AI or development around things. And feel free, stay in touch.